Keeping up with political issues and developments around you only on Nigeria Info.
And now, Hard Facts. Hard Facts with Dio.
Welcome back to the Hard Facts 92.3 Info here in Port Harcourt, the number one talk news and sports radio station. I'm Dio. 40 minutes gone past 5 p.m. Many thanks for staying tuned, and we delve right into the next matter up for discussion, the situation with the Judicial Panel of Inquiry in Lagos State investigating cases or petitions against the police, especially the now defunct Special Anti-Robbery Squad, but also another critical matter, what happened at the Lekki Tollgate. And there's been some update as regards the work of that panel, which is the basis for the discussion at this time. Well, here's the incident as reported by the Premium Times. Hashtag NSAS, rowdy session as panel members disagree over Lekki Tollgate reopening. And here's a bit of the story. Now, the proceedings at the Lagos Judicial Panel of Inquiry degenerated into a shouting match Saturday after panel members and lawyers disagreed loudly over the reopening of the Lekki Toll Plaza. Doris Kuwobi, the panel chairperson, accompanied by other 4 members of the panel, sat on Saturday to rule over an application for the repossession of the Lekki Toll Plaza by the Lekki Concession Company. Now, the company, the LCC that is, on 4 different occasions made an application before the panel to allow it repossess the toll plaza in order to evaluate damages caused by the hashtag NSAS protest and make insurance claims. Now, during one of the applications on January 5, Mrs. Okuwobi said the government has paid a forensic expert to examine the scene of the Lekki shooting, and LCC needs to wait for the report of the forensic examination. She said, quote, "Forensic evidence is most needed in this inquiry." Now, journalists, lawyers, civil society groups and observers were in attendance on Saturday to hear the report of the forensic examination on the Lekki shooting incident. The LCC was also on the list to proceed with the application to repossess the toll plaza. The judge made no comment on the forensic report, while the LCC was allowed to proceed with its application. Now, making the application, Rotimi Cherokee counsel for the LCC said the application to repossess the toll plaza has been pending before the panel, and it's necessary to reopen for repairs and insurance claims. Given her ruling on the matter, Mrs. Kuobi, retired judge, said the forensic report is ready and the panel is satisfied. Quote, "But would not wait till the termination of the petitions before it hands over control of Lekki to LCC." She also said that the LCC has every right to repossess the toll plaza, the place of business, as they have interest in that place. After the panel's chair ruling, a drama ensued with Adedayo, senior advocate of Nigeria and member of the panel, led 3 other members to oppose the ruling of the judge. Mr. Adedayo, Patient Udo, lawyer and human rights activist, and the 2 representatives of the youths, Rinola Odwola and Temitope Majakudume, said the decision of the judge and other members of the panel does not represent theirs. The group, taking an opposite stance from the majority, questioned the decision of the judge to reopen the toll gate, which has not been operational since October 20 last year, when armed soldiers opened fire on peaceful protesters at the toll plaza. Now, given his dissent in view, Mr. Adedayo said the takeover of the plaza at this time, quote, "is hasty, premature, and will overreach the work and eventual recommendations of the panel. Investigation by the panel over the Lekki Tollgate incident is still ongoing. It will therefore be premature to hand over the plaza and is still subject of panel's investigation and proceedings to LCC." He also said the takeover of the plazas by LCC will be prejudicial to the ultimate findings of the panel. And presenting their dissent in ruling on reopening, the youth representatives, Messrs. Odwola and Majakudume, in a statement said the Lekki Toll Plaza should remain shut and under the purview of the panel until full investigations and hearings are concluded. Now, this development is what we're discussing right now, and joining me for this conversation is immediate past chairman of Nigeria Barr Association, Amok Branch. I hope that is still very much in force. Okay.
Yes.
Also, is an associate professor of public law at the Rivers State University. Barrister Ritchard Wokocha joins me in the studio. Hello, Barrister. You're welcome.
Thank you, Dayo, and good evening, Nigerians.
So let's start on this note. The dissenting voices in the panel, 5-4 for against on a matter know that is extremely crucial as far as the investigations into what happened at the Lekki Tollgate is concerned. Let's start with the impression or the image that this creates. At the inception of this, when the panels were set up not only in Lagos but even across the country to investigate police brutality, there were concerns. And I dare say, even till now, there are still concerns and doubts as to what the outcomes of these investigations will be. What does this do for the perceptions and impressions about this process? Does it help it? Does it not help it? Or does it do nothing at all?
Well, first, from my perspective, first thing it establishes is that the panel is not a kangaroo panel. It's not a face dressing that is doing some bidding in order to arrive at a prefixed thing for those who set it up. If it was, she wouldn't have that level of dissent. It may create the impression in some minds that something is not going right, but again, the reason you have panels in odd numbers is for them to be able to reach a decision. The expectation is that it's not on all matters that they will have consensus. And the only way known to the law of meeting by which decisions can be reached one way or the other is to cast your votes and have a majority decision, to divide the house and have a majority decision. And once the majority agrees on a particular area, I think appropriate procedures will have been followed and a decision would have been reached, unless the instrument setting up that panel or that meeting insists that matters must be agreed upon by unanimity, which would be odd and strange for you to find such issues. The highest is that in legislative assemblies, you ask for 2/3. There is no matter over which it is required that they must have unanimous decision, that they must all accept a particular position. So when you have a panel made up of a number of people, usually odd number, is to ensure that this kind of situations will arise and that they should be able to reach a decision.
Well, let's talk about some of the issues that have been raised as regards this matter.
Yeah.
Starting from the sitting and addressing the application of the LCC to have the toll returned to them, to repossess the toll. Now, Adedayo on the SAN, who is leading the four who are dissenting to this application, also states that a quorum was not formed before the application was discussed and then agreed and then approved, if you will. And also precedents were cited. When some months ago, the accounts of some of the members of the panel were frozen by government based on some investigation that was going on. The panel refused to sit for at least one day, maybe even longer than that. And the reason given was that some of the panel members were not present and a quorum was not formed, so they could not sit. Now, generally speaking, like you mentioned just a while ago, quorums are usually 2/3. You have 9. Anyway,
okay.
Whatever. Pardon me.
Are you sure of what their quorum is?
Well, that's one argument that's been put forward, which I did read earlier.
But if a member of the panel is saying so, then it will mean that the quorum was not reached.
Precisely, and that was an argument for not sitting in the past, which suggests some kind of precedence here. However, this time around as well, the suggestion also is strong that the quorum was not formed, and yet these 5 members went ahead to listen to the application and even granted the application as well.
I've not had the privilege of reading what the quorum is for that panel, but 5 persons present out of 9 looks to me like more than 50% of the panel. It's more than 50% of the panel, 5/9.
If it's 2/3, that's 5.9. That should be.
If it's 2/3, it will be more than.
Yes.
It will need to be more than 5.
Yeah.
But that is if the quorum is 2/3. As I said, I'm reading up any instrument
But if it's the case, now once again, going back to what you said a while ago about believing that this is not a kangaroo panel, if indeed a quorum was not formed, what does that do for the process? Vis-a-vis, once again, your belief that it's not a kangaroo panel.
What it will mean is that the leadership of the panel acted inappropriately if it took an application when the House was not fully and properly constituted. But we need to find what the quorum is for that panel to be very sure. Because a reference to a previous occasion did not give us numbers that were present and numbers that were outside. And this discussion has not mentioned what the quorum is. It's rather citing precedent of previous time that some members did not come and the House did not sit, citing that members were not around and quorum was not formed. So unless we have the exact quorum, it will be difficult for us to say. But if it is that they did not have quorum at the time they reached the decision, then the leadership will have acted inappropriately unless she can explain by pointing to any part of the provisions of the instrument setting them up that says that they can sit when they do not have up to that number.
All right. As part of the comments of persons, members,
Yes.
I'd like to read that right now.
Yes.
And this is the response of one of the representatives, one of the youth representatives, Rinola,
Yes.
who said that the ruling that Lekki Tollgate should reopen cannot hold as they did not form a quorum. Since the youth representatives were absent, it's also important to note that 5 of 9 did not form a proper quorum.
But he didn't say what the number what the number is. So he has almost cleared our now, but has not completely cleared it. 5 of 9 did not form a proper quorum. We needed to know what was required.
What I'm asking is this: now, if indeed a quorum was not formed, does that lend credence to some other perception that this might be a kangaroo panel?
I don't think what you can't control what people think, and you can't control how people take issues. But for me, I will not reach that conclusion. In the first place, we have up to 4 members out of 9 saying we don't agree with this. It tells you clearly that they are not working in unison. They are not presenting a programmed team. So that in itself explains that. So I don't think it will be, I will reach a fair conclusion if I conclude, reasoning by myself, if I conclude that it will be indicative of quorum not having been formed, of the panel being a kangaroo panel or doing a predetermined hearing. I don't think I will read that decision just on that ground alone.
Okay, let's move forward then. Talking about the decision to hand over the plaza, you heard the position of the senior advocate who joined us a while ago, and how that for him this is overreaching and it's not good because the process has not been completed yet. However, the chairperson of the panel is saying, well, we've carried out investigations, we've been there, the forensic units have also done their job as well. And for that reason, even though this panel has not completed its functions, the plaza can be handed over back to its owners. Do you concur with that position?
Well, from what you read, I had you read that they have concluded the forensic investigation and reports are ready, though they have not been presented.
No, they've not.
Yes. Now, in normal criminal proceedings, where there is need for a forensic investigation, once the investigation has been done, whatever needs to be done with that thing can be done. In cases of murder, for instance, where autopsy and other subsequent investigations need to be done on the body, you may apply to bury the body, but they will tell you, no, they are not done with the body. But the moment they are done with those processes, even though the case is not yet in court or the case is yet to be concluded, once they are done with those processes, they can release the body to you. Now, you lock down facilities for a purpose, and that is to enable you get the investigation results that should come from your conducting forensic investigation on those facilities. But once that has been done, there is nothing else for you to do with it.
Let's hold that thought. It's 5:30 right now. Break for the headlines. Discussions continue shortly. Please stay with us.
Headline News, Nigeria Info on
92.3.
Headline News.
Good evening, I am Constance Mega with the news. Rivers State Government approves payment of new minimum wage for workers. Minister of Transportation Chibika Amechi announces construction of a multidisciplinary university in Ubima before September. Another NSAS protest looms as Occupy Lekki Tollgate trends on Twitter. Rearrangement of Senator Orji Kalu put on hold. Buratai says he owes no one explanations over ambassadorial appointment. Katsina police arrests former council chairman for allegedly conspiring with bandits. In business, cryptocurrency exchangers Binance removes Naira from its trading pairs after CBN ban on crypto transactions. In entertainment, Ikorodu boys bag Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Award. In sports, Qatar says 2022 World Cup to be played in full stadiums. Serena Williams launches her latest bid for a record equaling 24th Grand Slam. On the foreign scene, Myanmar coup leader defends action amid mass protests. Those are the headlines. Contact our newsroom on 0818 900 0017. I am Constance Mega. Thank you.
Crossfire morning.
Get into the midday dialogue
And tell you about the hard facts, and then let's talk into the chat station.
all for you on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
The night is almost done, but conversations are never done on 92.3 Nigeria Info. Join Jude from 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. on Let's Talk weekdays.
Connect with your customers. Advertise on 92.3 Nigeria Info. Visit our downtown office at Shop 9, Mediatrix of All Gracies Plaza, opposite FIRS, Stadium Road, Port Harcourt, and book your commercials. Call 0817 001 8162. That is 0817 001 8162. And let us connect you to your customers. 92.3 Nigeria Info.
And now, hard facts.
Hard facts with Dio.
Welcome back to the Hard Factor 91.3 Nigeria Info and here in Port Harcourt. I'm Dio. 22 minutes ago before 6 p.m. discussions continue on the situation in Lagos. Hashtag enters Rowdy session as panel members disagree over Lekki Tollgate reopening. Judge's decision to allow LCC repossess the Tollgate angered some members of the panel. 5 members, including the chairperson, were in favor of the LCC's application to repossess the Tollgate, while 4 members, including a senior advocate of Nigeria, were against that position as well. My guests are still with me in the studio, Barrister Ritchard. Wokocha, you're welcome once again.
Thank you, Dayo.
Now, before we went for the break, you were speaking to the issue of the decision itself,
Yes.
to grant LCC access to the toll plaza. Please go ahead.
Now, in serious countries where time counts and time is money, a thing will be stayed because it's necessary for an action to be taken. Once that action is taken, it will not be necessary to keep that thing longer. You don't just keep things locked down because you want to lock them down. In this case, their decision was that they were not going to open it until necessary forensic investigations that have already been paid for are conducted and from what you read, results released. However, the stage at which they are, the investigations have been conducted and the results are ready, but not yet publicly announced at the panel. For me, do they need to keep the place locked down? Is it still necessary? Is there something that will be lost if they keep it? That will inform my answer. Is there something that will be lost if they keep it? Is there something that will affect the outcome of the investigation if they release the thing now? Is there something that needs to be protected there? Answer will be no. The forensic investigation has been concluded. So, to all intents and purposes, that place is like a dead body over which all necessary forensic investigations have been done. The standard procedure is that it will be released to the owners to bury.
Now, what if the LCC itself, whilst maybe not being, and a huge maybe here,
Yes.
major actors in what transpired on the night as regards the actual shootings,
Yes.
but it could also be averred or inferred that they may have played some role as well, vis-a-vis lights going off, vis-a-vis camera footage and capturing what transpired on the night, vis-a-vis maybe evidence may have been tampered with because the LCC operatives were reported to have been there to remove cameras, and they have servers where footage from what transpired was supposedly directed to. And even though, and also very important here, the report of this forensic investigation, whilst not having been made public yet, it's not impossible that some part of that report may indict the LCC.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, I also read somewhere earlier today, I suppose, that one of the panel members, I think they may have seen, if not all, but at least part of that report.
Yes.
And it was stated that the forensic investigators did state that the LCC was not cooperative in their investigation. As a matter of fact, I think a request was made for access to the servers where footage from the Tollgate was supposedly directed to and stored, but the LCC denied granting the investigators' request to access to those servers or to the information that they requested, which, of course, I mean, even though that's another discussion entirely, does raise some questions. So, considering that...
Were there grounds for the denial?
Well, I mean, once again, I think that's contained in the report, which has been made public.
Like access, yes, like access. If the thing is somewhere at another point controlled by another entity, then you may not be able to give me access to that. That's why I was asking whether there are grounds for the quote-unquote denial.
Well, I guess that will come up when the report is released and made public.
Exactly.
But whether or not that is the case, the point is, as speculative as this may be, there could be, the LCC could be indicted. It's not impossible. The LCC could be indicted in that report, and may have been seen to have played a role more than may be so obvious right now, as regards whatever malfeasance may have taken place that night. How does that possibility affect this situation?
I don't think the release of the players back to the LCC will make any difference on the result, on the report that is already in their hands, on what they have already investigated and seen and taken. The release of the players will in no way affect the report or the result of the investigation that is in the hands of the investigators. Now, if what we are thinking is maybe they may recommend that LCC should not continue to operate that place, that decision will also not be affected by release of that place to LCC now, because the panel will finish its work and make its recommendations. And implementation of that recommendation will not be hampered by the fact that the place has been released earlier. The interest in Lekki was to preserve the possible facts that can be revealed and unraveled by a forensic investigation. That has been done. There is no necessary reason why you should still keep it locked. Even if we don't take the financial argument, strictly from the point of ability to affect the outcome of the hearing. There's no other reason why you want to keep it. Once you are done with necessary investigation on a dead body, you release it for burial. This is like that. If they have done what they need to do, the forensic investigation has taken place and they have done their report, whether you leave that place open or locked is no longer of any consequence to the proceeding, because they've gotten what they want from that place. So the place is no longer necessary. Keeping the place locked is no longer necessary. So for me, releasing the place to the operators to continue to operate or to resume business will not in any way affect the outcome of what is already in the hand of the investigators.
On that note, you're welcome to join the conversation right now. Line to open 0817 923 0002 or 0003, 0817 923 0007 or 0009. WhatsApp on 0809 030 6416. But more importantly, we're live on Twitter. You can also join us there on or tweet at Nigeria Info PH. Also go to facebook.com /Nigeria Info PH. Do please keep it brief, concise, straight to the point, and once you call his answer, do turn down the volume of your radio set as well. It's critical that you do so, else we literally cannot have ourselves a conversation. And Rasta, how about the issue of the sentiment of it all? For some person to insisting that the toll not be handed over yet until investigations are concluded and the panel has finished its job, for them it might be on sentimental grounds. You know, I mean, we cannot have this company continue at this time to profit from this until we are sure that there's nothing amiss, because as far as they're concerned, even though it's still in the realm of allegations, people were shot at, people were injured, and people were even killed as well.
That may well be so, and it sounds more like an argument that is based on sentiment, because if you are done with what you want to get from that place, there is no other reason except sentiment, that it will hurt the feelings of those who were affected, what happened there and all that. But that will be taking what they want the panel to do beyond the scope of duty of the panel. The panel is not set up to indict
LCC
or to stop the LCC from operating that place. That's not part of the purpose. That can be the outcome. At the end of the outcome, if they find that there was complicity on the part of LCC, they can make that recommendation. But the purpose of the panel, of setting up the panel and conducting the hearing and preventing them from going on with whatever they were to do there, from opening that place for use or going back to operate that place, was not to punish them with preventing them from doing that to satisfy the sentiment of people. No, they are on fact finding. So that will be expecting the panel to serve the sentiments of those who have that sentiment, which is not part of the panel's duty, and it's not part of what the investigation is about.
Once again, 0817 923 0002 or 0003, 0817 923 0007 or 0009. Those are the numbers to call. WhatsApp 0809 030 6416. I do have a couple of comments via WhatsApp already, but I am having some issues accessing that right now. Hopefully that changes soon and we can get to it. Alright, so anyway, before then, is it absolutely impossible then for the LCC in any way to affect this situation, in spite of the fact that investigations have taken place, the forensic investigation happened as well? Isn't there any way in which the LCC might still be able to, in some negative way, affect the course or affect this process?
By the normal rules of investigation, especially forensic investigation, it should be impossible for them to reach what is already in the hand of the investigators. That would have been possible if the process requires them going back to make some verification on that place. But the investigators have not said they require anything like that.
Hello, how far to welcome? 0817-93-0002 or 0003, 0817-93-0007 or 0009. Over to WhatsApp right now. I always knew that panel was a sham right from inception. The NSAS protesters whose bank accounts were blocked are yet to have their accounts back, even when promised to be released to them last year, but they chose to resume operations at the Lekki toll because it has to do with money generation. The lives don't mean anything to them or the country. That's Prince from Port Harcourt. Good evening, Di and guest. Please, what I know about the quorum is 1/3 of the total number. If the other members of the Lekki panel says 5 out of 9 is not a proper quorum, I want to ask, is quorum defined differently by this panel, other than what I know about quorum? That's Kinsley from HA. Okay, back to that shortly. Hello, hard fact to welcome. Hello. All right. Will they agree to release? Will they agree to the release of a prime suspect in a case that involves him after forensic investigations? That's a Maxwell.
The Tollgate is not a suspect in this case. The Tollgate and the use of the Tollgate is not a suspect in this case. Operation of the Tollgate is also not one of the objectives of the panel. For me, I like us to focus on what is important and not run after sentiment and miss the main thing. We want to find out culpability of LCC and any other person in this thing. And appropriate punishments will be recommended. The purpose is, there is something that I don't understand about the Nigerian system and sometimes our criminal justice system. Oh, just lock him off as long as possible. Let him suffer a bit. Let him suffer and he will learn his lesson. That is not the purpose of criminal investigation and criminal justice administration. Determine whether he is guilty, punish him according to law. Not to keep him there for some time and let him cool his heels in detention while trial is going on. No, that's not the purpose. So you don't need to lock down what does not need to be locked down. We need to pursue the objectives of the panel, make the findings we need, and make the recommendation. If we need to say LCC should not operate that place, the panel will recommend it, and Lagos State will implement, I'm sure.
And via WhatsApp, good evening, Di. Please ask our guest if the investigation could be said to be complete when members of the panel have said the camcorder is yet to be submitted for scrutiny. I believe he's referring to the camcorder that was discovered by Agent Fashola at the Tollgate.
Incidentally, he says panel members say it is yet to be submitted. Panel members are not the one carrying out the forensic investigation. Those carrying out the forensic investigation, who are experts, have done what they need to do. So, how does going back to that place preserve the camcorder or take away the camcorder or affect content of the camcorder?
Over to Facebook now. Moses Ofre goes, if investigation has been concluded, then access to the toll plaza should be granted. Maybe they feel opening the plaza means the case has no substance. Thank God Atuegu has the panel finished the investigation before they reopen the Lekki toll plaza. Ugumba Emeke Agba goes, this is to show that the people we sent aren't representing us. They're arguing whether to open the toll gate for business where innocent lives were killed. I have prayed and cried that God or the innocent will do something. And Tamuno Takena, episode David goes, this is a long one, but interesting position, so I'll take the time to read it. So, if the soldiers shoot at Computer Village or the seaport, the next thing is for these places to be shot down and destroyed. Many of you guys don't even give a blip about the victims, but they just want it shot for a few reasons. One, people don't want to pay tolls again because we have been wired to think the government can provide everything, so we should use it for free instead. Two, the people that think Tinubu owns it, they want it shot down to get back at Tinubu and have a bragging right. Three, those celebrities that want to trend again with this. Four, people that are really concerned, unfortunately, they are few. One funny thing is that people are passing the toll gate currently, and the only difference is that toll fees are not being paid. So I really don't understand how people could disrespect the dead and keep driving through the place if that's the narrative they are pushing. You have a response to that?
It goes to the same thing we're saying. That sentiment is not what that panel was set up to do, and you will be tempted to agree with him because Lekki Tollgate has not been locked since then. So the only business now happening is the state generating revenue from the Tollgate while this investigation has been on. And that's not the purpose of the investigation. It's not to prevent the state from raising revenue appropriately. That was not the purpose of the panel. So it's out of the question for me.
So you're confident that this panel is still doing the job it was set up to do, and not just still doing it, will do a good job conclusively?
I believe they will. If at least you are sure now that nearly half of the panel, 4 out of 5, can disagree with the decision of 5, you are sure you have a panel that is doing a work. You are sure you don't have a rubber stamp panel. Even people who design rubber stamp panels don't make as much as 4 independent out of 9. So this rather assures me, rather than paint the picture of a kangaroo process, this assures me that there is a panel really sitting. And we need to work with that confidence. We don't need to run away with the sentiment and abandon the business we are there to do. Let's establish the culpability of those who are culpable and call for them to be held to account. That's what this panel investigation is about, and not sentiment.
And then I will wrap up the conversation. Thanks for being a bit, especially thanks to my guest, Barrister Ritchard, the immediate past chairman, Bar Association at Omok Branch, also Associate Professor of Public Law, Rivers State University. Barrister Wokocha, many thanks for your time.
Adedayo.
We've got the major news top of the hour at 6 p.m. coming up. Afterwards, open season. If you've missed out on any matter discussed on the show today, I'll take your thoughts on those afterwards. And till about 7 o'clock, the show comes to an end. The sports gang will be in by 7. Do please stay with us.